Rican. Puerto Rico is a Caribbean island about 1,000 miles southeast of Miami, Florida, and is near Cuba, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic. The name Puerto Rico means rich port in Spanish, and it was given to the island by the Spanish who arrived to take it over. Before the Spanish took control of Puerto Rico, the island was called Boriquen by one group of its native peoples, the Taínos. After the 1898 Spanish-American War, Spain ceded the island of Puerto Rico to the United States along with the Philippines and Guam. Today, Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, and all Puerto Ricans are American citizens. But many Puerto Ricans feel that the United States has treated Puerto Rican residents unfairly. Puerto Rico has no representatives in Congress, and residents of the island cannot vote in general U.S. presidential elections. Puerto Rico's political parties typically organize around the relationship the island should have with the United States going forward. The options for this relationship have usually included Puerto Rico becoming a state, separating as an independent nation, or keeping its status as a territory. A musical is a live performance in which characters use spoken dialogue, music, songs, and dances to tell a story. When Luis became a father, he made his family watch the movie musical with him all the time, instilling a love for the theater in Lin. Unfortunately, the Mirandas couldn't afford to attend live shows in Broadway theaters very often. Broadway is the general name given to New York City's main area for theaters. Within the Broadway district, there are dozens of professional theaters where musicals and plays are produced at the highest level. Other smaller shows in New York are typically referred to as off-Broadway. If a show gains enough attention from audiences, it will likely move from a smaller off-Broadway theater to one of the larger Broadway ones. Instead of attending these larger and often more expensive performances, the Mirandas listen to a lot of Broadway cast albums, which are recordings of all the songs performed in a musical theater production. At age 7, Lin finally saw his first Broadway play named Les Miserables. The show is a story about injustices faced by poor and working-class people in France. In his home of Inwood, way up in the northern end of Manhattan, Lin was surrounded by similar New Yorkers who were trying to improve their families' lives. Those families became some of his biggest influences, and their strength shined through in his later projects. Sometimes young Lin expressed his love for New York in dramatic ways. When his parents sent him to a sleepaway camp at age 10, he wrote letters complaining to his parents about being unhappy and wanting to come home. Before he went to camp, Lin spent a lot of time inside watching TV, so his parents wanted him to enjoy a summer with other kids. He did make some good friends, but Lin loved his city and couldn't bear to leave it for too long. During Lin's childhood, his interest in musical theater grew. While he was at Hunter College's middle and high school from 1991 to 1998, he performed in several plays while still finding time to write his own. Off the stage, Lin was listening to a lot of hip-hop and R&B, which his school bus driver and sister played for him. He also carried a boombox throughout Hunter College High School, becoming known for his high-energy personality. He was always ready to put on a show. Some of the first hip-hop artists who influenced him were the Beastie Boys, Rakim, and the Sugar Hill Gang. New York City hip-hop. The Bronx, New York, is considered the birthplace of hip-hop. On August 11, 1973, Clive Campbell, known as DJ Kool Herc, and his sister Cindy Campbell hosted a back-to-school party in a recreation room at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue. There, Herc's friend Coke La Rock shouted attendees' names while Herc played short snippets of live albums from artists like James Brown. Herc's act went on to become famous around the Bronx and helped create a new style of music. Hip-hop culture came to include DJing on the turntables, emceeing at the mic, breakdancing, and graffiti. While hip-hop has grown into a global sensation, many of the most beloved rappers and rap groups of all time are connected to New York City's 5 boroughs. Some of the most notable include Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, the Notorious B.I.G., Jay-Z, Nas, the Wu-Tang Clan, A Tribe Called Quest, Slick Rick, Nicki Minaj, Mos Def, Big Pun, Fat Joe, Salt and Peppa, and Public Enemy. As he grew up, Lin found ways to bring together the working-class challenges, hip-hop sounds, and musical theater performances that inspired him. One of his most important influences was Jonathan Larson's Rent, a musical that used rock music and featured young New York